The Substance, directed by Coraline Fargeat, is the newest horror movie centered around beauty, aging, self-esteem, women in showbiz, as well as society. Though, by the end of it, you feel like you just watched Society by Brian Usna. Looks like everything is sure in the right place this time. So let's get all gussied up and check out The Substance. In an award-worthy performance, Demi Moore plays Elizabeth Sparkle, whose career as a TV aerobics personality is ending due to her age, and thanks to the over-the-top but accurate caricature of nearly every executive in the business, played by Dennis Quaid. Elizabeth is serendipitously given the chance to extend herself to a more youthful self by taking the substance, and then a more youthful, better you basically comes out of you. This one is played by Margaret Qually, who names herself Sue.
I'm Sue.
Who does she think she is, Seal? However, both women are supposed to keep the balance. After a week, Sue is to hibernate and let Elizabeth take over for another week, and then after that they switch and back and forth and back and forth. You know, balance.
Perfectly balanced.
And that's definitely a work-life balance I can get behind. You feel me? You know, one thing I can get behind in this movie that's very imbalanced in the most positive way, and that is all the ass.
You know, bump it up. You got to bump it up. You know, bump it up. You got to bump it up. You got to bump it up.
Of course, Sue is the talk of the town and given her own TV show, thus replacing Elizabeth's time slot. I really like how Fargeat contrasted Elizabeth's hallway with many posters showing a long, illustrious career, and then once she's dumped from her show, the hallway is empty once again, and then once Sue takes over and starts doing her own show, you start seeing the one poster on the wall, and then later on she gets another one, and assuming she's going to continue down the same path as Elizabeth. Throughout the film, there's lots of really great contrast shots. Things that are now one way and then become another way. Lots of things that are beautiful and then sullied. Things like roses, which Elizabeth gets basically telling her she doesn't have a job anymore. And then when Sue comes on the scene and gets her own show, she gets a congratulatory bunch of roses saying everyone's gonna love you. And that's something that Demi Moore really hangs on throughout the movie is everyone's gonna love you. And those roses can symbolize how the public or even Hollywood feel about Sue or Elizabeth. So then Sue starts to get greedy and starts borrowing time over the 7 days, thus disrupting the balance. Once Elizabeth finds this out, she gets really mad at Sue and starts trying to get back at her by leaving her place a mess, doing things around the house that annoy her, and cooking and making tons of food that will affect Sue in various negative ways.
The one and only thing not to forget. You are one.
Elizabeth also has this painting of herself in her apartment that seems to loom over her before she takes the substance. Once Sue shows up and starts gaining success, a billboard showing Sue in a sexy position shows up right in front of Elizabeth's front window, basically looming over her, in a way taunting her with Sue's beauty and success. I also feel like I need to mention the stark white bathroom where many of the transformations between Sue and Elizabeth take place. The white is a really great canvas for lots of the colorful substances that eventually spill on the floor. All the other bathrooms in the film seem to be white with a splash of red, also kind of mimicking one of the bathrooms in The Shining from Stanley Kubrick. And if you want movie references, there are plenty in here. There are some Shining references, there is also a Pulp Fiction reference that's pretty unmistakably Pulp Fiction. And did I mention the body horror?
With your mouth full, dear.
I do really like the pacing and style of The Substance. A lot of quick cuts to help the pacing, and it's very stylish. I like that it gives you a lot of rapid information all at once because a lot of this is overwhelming, but not a minute is wasted. I think my biggest gripe with the whole film is that there's a fight sequence near the end that goes on a little bit longer than it should. It feels pretty gratuitous. It also needs to happen to further the plot. I get that. You might see some of the people being portrayed as caricatures, kind of like Dennis Quaid, as a negative, but I think it's a positive because it really just shows how outlandish Hollywood executives are, or how people treat you when you're considered beautiful or considered ugly. Or old, and I can say that because I'm an old. Then after that, the film goes full Stuart Gordon Bryan using it, and we get the crescendo of body horror elements, and then on till the end of the film, it doesn't stop. I heard people even walked out towards some of these sequences, and you know, seeing this from a normie's perspective, maybe I'd walk out too, but
I've got to pull myself together.
I'm a horror veteran and I love this stuff, so believe me, by the end of this film, I had a big smile on my face and was loving every minute of it.
Every value I've ever held has been questioned, and I'm loving it.
Maybe it's because I'm in my mid-40s now and I feel the weight of mortality crushing my body and soul minute by minute, but I really identified with this film and some of the choices made by the characters. And look at that! I identify with characters on screen who are nothing like me. They look nothing like me.
Stop them!
Although I still identify with their basic human needs to feel wanted, feel loved, feel accepted, and not get old. Isn't that what we all want? Because age is universal to us all, no matter who you are. In a year of insincerity, lame sequels, prequels and requels and remakes, The Substance feels like a real film.
It's a real film, Jack.
It feels like a breath of fresh air, even though it borrows heavily from other films before it, especially the Cronenbergian body horror elements. Made by a real filmmaker who cares about the art, hones her craft, and puts in the elbow grease to tell a coherent, satisfactory story. Shock us, and maybe make us think a little bit about our own quests for beauty and acceptance. So as it stands, The Substance now sits amongst my top 5 favorite films of 2024. What do you think? Tell me below in the comments. Like this video, subscribe and share and all that stuff. And take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
You can't escape from yourself.
Demi Moore.
I'm a piece of shit. I suck.
Dude, I think I just filled the cup.
Looks like everything sure is in the right place this time.